together. Well, in my life, God really has worked in an incredible manner. I came from a situation where, even today, people come up to me and say, it must have been absolutely awesome to be the son of Roman Gabriel. That must have been an incredible thing. And I can tell you that that's the only thing that I wanted to be since I was this high, was a professional football player. Just like many of your sons and daughters that want to be like you, Dad, I wanted to be like my dad. And I didn't know at the time that it was hard that about 0.5% of the people ever played professional football. And I'll get to that a little bit down the road here. But where I came to know and understand about what being a Christian was all about was when I was about 9 years old. I was in a Baptist church just like this. Our pastor was our football coach, which, believe me, is not an easy thing sometimes when your pastor's your football coach. Let Gary or Michael be your football coach. It'd be tough, wouldn't it? Well, I'll tell you what, my pastor took us, this was very exciting. He said, I'm going to take you guys to something special tonight. We're going to go out to Angel Stadium where the California Angels play, and we are going to see Billy Graham speak tonight. He's coming to speak. And this was a young Billy Graham. I saw Billy Graham about 4 years ago in Kansas City on one of his last crusades, and I was in tears because I could remember seeing him when I was 9 years old and him giving the same proud gospel message with the same intensity and with the same passion. I went there that night and it was no different. Billy Graham gave it as hard as you can give it with passion. He gave the gospel message. There were 40,000 people in that stadium. I can remember when he gave the altar call, just hordes of people, fathers, mothers, young children, all ages coming down in the grass. And I didn't make a decision that night, but I was so excited by this. I walked down into the infield to hear Billy Graham talk personally with everybody about walking with God and about what a decision for Christ was. Well, that night, God touched me and took hold of me. And what he told me that night was that being a Christian isn't just trusting God or saying, hey, I believe in God. Being a Christian isn't just coming to church. Being a Christian isn't being a deacon. Being a Christian isn't thinking good thoughts and doing more good than bad. No, being a Christian is about a relationship with Jesus Christ. And see, I didn't understand what that was, a relationship. So I went home. Through that time, I was about 9, and many of you growing up, how many of you all have your family around you for dinner and sit down all you together and eat together? Oh man, that is awesome. So that's something that I find today that's missing in the family. We've become in such a fast-paced world that you don't get to sit down with your kids, and that's something I love to do with my family. Well, I remember doing that with my father and my 2 brothers and my mother. And one day came along, and my father let my mom know and my 2 brothers know that he was no longer in love with my mom and that he was leaving. And that was a devastating thing to me. Back then in 1969, divorce wasn't something that was prevalent like it is today. It was a very public divorce. When you're 9 years old and you're hearing about it, and you're seeing what's going on, I'll just never forget when my